Now we review Deadpool and Wolverine. You knew this was coming. You knew it, don't lie. You knew it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have just seen Deadpool and Wolverine. And I am going to film this right now without getting my teleprompter ready. It's totally off the cuff, like the vast majority of my reviews, because we all know Deadpool and Wolverine is getting very good reviews. I mean, I really don't need to review this one. Everybody knows this movie's getting really good reviews. What can one say? Before I get any further, let me, of course, remind you, if you want to be a hero, you can comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean then pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. So, yeah. Hero, save this universe. We don't have another one to go to. Alrighty. So, you all know the drool. Deadpool has become a car salesman. He broke up with the hot chick from Firefly. They're still friends. I don't know how you could be friends with her after that. I mean, you'd just be looking at that going, oh, what I've lost. It would be so painful. I mean, my manhood aches just thinking about that. It's this dull, throbbing pain that's quite painful. Anyway, so, this Deadpool, he's quit being a superhero. He's useless. Nobody cares. How did we get here? It doesn't make any sense. It's a Deadpool movie, not supposed to make sense. Making sense bad. So, he tries to become an Avenger. That fails. He gets recruited by the TBA. I don't really know what they are. I don't watch the Marvel TV shows. They're the Time Police and so. And yada, yada, yada. Deadpool has got to go find a Wolverine in order to save his universe and the people he cares about, okay? Wolverine exists in a separate universe from the MCU. He's not in the MCU. He's his own timeline, all right? And that timeline is a timeline where Wolverine sacrificed himself for X-23? I don't know. I just call her Chickarine because, that was how she was introduced to me. It's like, oh, that's a female Wolverine. Okay, it's Chickarine. Anyway, so their Deadpool died. Their Wolverine died saving Chickarine, and now without a Wolverine, their universe can't exist. They need another Chickarine, or they need another Wolverine, even though they have a Chickarine. And it's like, guys, just clone him. Be much easier than this multiverse stuff. So he goes and finds a Wolverine who I guess was out on a bender when the X-Men died or some crap like that. And the TBA sends him to the Void where he fights a bunch of mutants and they nearly destroy the multiverse. This is the Marvel movie with the highest stakes ever, because not only will one universe be destroyed, all of them will be all of creation and all creations will be undone. Yes. All right. That's your movie. Wow. And I tell you something, during this film, every scene, the audience is just roaring because they are so happy to see these people brought back from various movies. And I'm going to spoil something for you right now. The worst Deadpool does not make an appearance in this film. There is no Barakapool here. Okay? The mouthless merc with a mouth does not show up in this movie, which really I do think is a negative. I mean, if you're gonna pull Channing Tatum to make Gambit, did he ever play? I don't remember that ever happening. I don't know why Channing Tatum is in this movie. Personally, I thought he was the weakest performance. He did not sound like Gambit, at least what I would think of as Gambit. I've only done the cartoon Gambits are the ones that I'm most familiar with. But the Gambit I do recall had a much more suave sort of appearance. He was the kind of person that you fell in love with, maybe not in a sexual way, but you just loved the guy. You know, that was Gambit. He had that charisma. This Gambit does not have that charisma, and they really should have made his hair a little more, you know, there. But I don't know. It's just the thing they had him in. The suit didn't look very Gambit-y to me, and I don't know if it's another movie reference. I don't recall that, so I don't know about this Gambit. And that was kind of the lowest part of the movie. But they don't give him a lot of screen time. You know, he does fight well. It's a great fight scene. The central climax battle of this particular movie is absolutely epic. And if you're a big Marvel fan and you remember all the movies, I mean, it took me a while. There were a lot of, like, I don't know who that is at first. Well, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? And I mean, the one major, probably the largest criticism I could have of this movie is that the creatures, the people living in the void, did not look like people living in the void. All right? Like, it's like, okay, you know, you first started out with a character played by Chris Evans. I don't want to say which one because that might spoil something for you. And he had a very void-y suit, which was, you know, to help the reveal. And that was good, except for the fact that he looks like a young Chris Evans. You know, I think they may have just de-aged him a little bit. And it's like, yeah, okay. You know, he looks perfect. He doesn't look like he's been living on the edge and scavenging for food, and he's thin. He looks like just stepped out of a headquarters to go battle the latest threat. And Elektra's the same way. And Blade looks like he's a little older. He's got the white beard there. Snipes still clearly keeping in shape. Love that guy. But I mean, it's like they don't look like they've been in the void. And that's one of the things about this is like even the Deadpool costume and the Wolverine costume, they don't take a lot of damage. Okay, they clearly get messed up a little bit, but they don't take a lot of damage. And I mean, let's be clear on this. Superheroes are not like policemen. They don't go out there and come back smelling like a rose unless you've got like the Superman suit. The original Superman suit was supposed to be indestructible. It was actually the suit that was bulletproof and not Superman in some iterations. So unless you got one of them, I mean, people are shooting at you, you're going to be getting tossed. I mean, you're going to be getting torn to heck. You would have to have, like, you know, just a new suit every week or be a really good, you know, tailor. And that's one thing. I mean, I understand why they did that. Because if you have the suits falling apart, I mean, it's like one battle, okay, now the suit's trashed. What do you do for the next one? All right, so there's that. And I mean, this was very much, if you're a Marvel fan, the montage of Wolverines, which is a famous part of this movie. You know, you get all that kind of stuff, all the variants of Wolverine. I mean, one of the big criticisms of Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine in the early editions is that Wolverine is often referred to as Runt by his enemies because he's very short. Okay? That's one of the reasons why throwing him into battle works so well, because he's Wolverine and dude's tiny. Cat jumped on the keyboard. Yes, okay. So as I was saying, so they do have a more comic book accurate short Wolverine in this movie. They have all kinds of Wolverines. There's Wolverine upon Wolverine upon Wolverine. If you haven't seen the movie, hear as little about this as possible because, you know, apparently there's some really big reveals here. History that I didn't know about. And I mean, yeah, okay. So obviously this film was very fun. It's full of Easter eggs. It is an action comedy. And being an action comedy, it went fast. you hardly notice the film's 2-hour runtime. So I would say that, yeah, you have to say this is a film that goes at the top of your watch list. There are things I wish had been in this film. I mean, I could never have enough Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. That's one thing I kind of missed. And I mean, there are scenes, I think there's shots of him from previous movies that are used here. But, there's no actual new footage of him that wasn't sitting in an archive somewhere. So, I mean, there was that. I would have liked to have seen that. I also have to say that there's a lot of stuff that I didn't get. I mean, I am not the biggest Marvel fan. You didn't really know Marvel as well as... if you know Marvel as poorly as I do, you're picking stuff up from other people's reviews. This is a fan's film. Not that you can't enjoy it if you're not a fan, but it's definitely a fan's film. Fans are going, oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's like that one Batman cartoon where it's like Batman drops into a store and then there's like a mannequin that looks like the Question. And I was like, what's the importance of that mannequin? There's shots of the mannequin. It's like it's important somehow. It's because it looks like another character called the Question. And if you're not a Marvel fan, you don't know that, or DC fan for that, you don't know that. So it's like being like, yeah, it was a little difficult for me to, like, Blob, I think, is in this movie. And it was hard for me to tell it was Blob. And of course, one of the other things is that this is the particularly fat version of Blob. There's multiple versions of Blob. The one live-action version turned out to be really oversized. And it was like, yeah, but how is he so well fed in the void? That's weird. Anyway, so yeah, look, as I say, this movie was a lot of fun. And I watched it in a theater. The audience roared every time they saw a new character cameo. Everybody loved it. People laughed. So this is definitely a very fun movie. Do understand, though, it is an R-rated film. This is not the thing that you take your kids to. All right? So, yeah, as soon as they come of age, this is one of the movies that goes on the bucket list. I would say that, if this film were around when I was 10 years old, I definitely would have seen it at 10 years old. My family actually took me to Die Hard in the theater. Well, no, they didn't. They had me watch a movie, and then when it was over, they made me go into the theater and watch the end of Die Hard, which really ruined Die Hard for me. But that's neither here. I wish I had my own TBA device so I could go to my past and screw up the people that did bad things to me. But that's not how the world works, is it? That's one of those great things about this movie. There's the dream of, hey, you can fix things that don't work. You can go back in the past and fix things, and the story still exists. You can't do that in real life. So, Deadpool, great escapism, very funny movie, top of the watch list, must-see movie. Definitely see this movie. This is the best Marvel property I have seen in the last 10 years. And you know I hate everything. So yeah, I'm Richard.
Greetings, humans! It's your old pal Randall the Rat again, and I'm taking a break from eating your delicious face to remind you to comment, like, and subscribe. And why should you do that? Well, for one thing, see this bling here? That awesome, isn't it? Yeah, got a dragon on it. This is what you get if you go to the Conqueror and start the Great Wall of China Challenge. Yeah. Walk long enough, bike long enough, you can plant 5 trees and get this awesome necklace, which the owner of this channel, Richard, has done for you, because he wanted to plant 5 trees and get an awesome necklace. And for every 1,000 subscribers he gets, he also buys a bracelet from 4Ocean, and they pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. So the more money he has, the more of these challenges he buys from the Conqueror. and the more trees he plants for you. So if you comment, you like and subscribe, he can buy more bracelets, pull more trash out of the ocean, and plant more trees. Isn't that awesome? Shouldn't you be doing that then? Be smart. Click that like button, or I'll eat you. Might eat you anyway. You look delicious.